Hello, everyone. Hello, Dr. Dayo. Hi, Kitana. Hello.
Hello, Asma. Good morning.
Hi, Dr. David. Good evening.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good evening to me.
Hello. Is anybody there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello. Yes, I can hear you very well, Dr. Dayo. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, good morning or good afternoon.
Good morning. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How are you?
I am doing good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, very well. Thank you.
You know, the funny thing was I'm in another part of the country now and different time zone. So I was praying for to get on an hour later. It just suddenly hit me.
Oh, really?
Oh. Yeah, with all these time zones, yeah, you have to stay on top of things because I was praying from 8:30 to 7:30.
It's 7:30 now. What part of the US are you now?
I am in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so that's Central Time. So that's 1 hour behind Eastern Time.
Oh wow, that's pretty early.
Oh no, well,
imagine.
It is what it is. I'm just glad I didn't, oversleep.
Yeah, and yeah, it just occurred to you that it's time, yeah.
You know, it just somebody could. I think it was Kathana. Good morning, Kathana. I saw she had logged on, and I was wondering myself, why is she logging on so early? then the light.
Yeah, good.
I'll put my video on shortly. I need to turn off. Is there a lot of noise in the background?
Is it mine? Is it me?
Are you hearing a lot of noise in the background? No, I think it's the air conditioner. Let me turn it.
Yeah, some sort of feedback I can hear. Yeah, I can.
Okay, let's give me a few minutes.
Okay. Oh, nice to see you. I'm so too. Nice to see faces. Oh, Assalamu alaikum. But I think you're muted. No, I think you are muted.
Hi.
Hi.
Long time.
Good you came on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's your son?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing great.
No, he's 7, right?
Yeah, he's 7. He can read and write now, the words he knows. and he's capable of independent thoughts. Like, I mean, things that I didn't teach him, he's capable of asking or like turning a statement around. If I taught him one thing, he has a way of changing it to another thing on his own.
Oh, that's good news.
Own.
That's good news, really. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So what did you do differently? Or has he always been picking up? What did you do? Have you done something differently that you would want to share with parents, maybe to empower them?
Like 2 years ago, when we were in the UK, I noticed his father started complaining about him drinking a lot of milk. A lot of milk, because the milk there is the fresh milk in a bottle, and Umar can finish almost half of it. Like, I mean, 2 liters, he can just finish in a day. He can finish 1 liter at a go.
Yeah.
So he started gaining weight. At that time, I didn't know that eating was a problem for them, that they don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
So I was worried. I didn't know how to stop him from taking a lot of milk. I didn't want to deprive him of that. So I asked his doctor, his community pediatrician, and he told me at his age, he doesn't need milk. That was what he said. But he told me he doesn't know any relationship between autism and milk. But I did my own research. I just decided to stop the milk. And the moment I stopped the milk, his eye contact improved.
Wow.
And at the time that he started taking the milk so much, he had a problem with sleeping. For 4 months, it took him 2 to 3 hours to sleep. And I had to swing him from right to left at that time. And then I also taught him how to tell me if he's not feeling well. So he told me he was having chest pain. He was taking milk at that time, a lot of milk, not sleeping well, and then complaining of chest pain. So I told the GP, and so they gave me antacids, and then I stopped the milk. The moment I stopped the milk, at the same time he was given antacids, that was when he started sleeping on his own. Since then, he's been sleeping on his own.
Oh my God! Oh God!
Pediatrician.
Mm-hmm.
So clinic. So that it was during the COVID time. So we had a phone call appointment. So I told them all the story, and that he sleeps now on his own. And they said, yes, that's good. I cracked it. So he doesn't need any medication. So because of that, I just had to stop him completely from taking milk.
Oh,
and
wow.
Well, he's been reading better. He can write better now. And when we came back to Nigeria, he goes to a regular school, and he has a teacher who I gave her his summary from UK, and she was able to help him.
Wow. Oh, I'm really so happy to hear that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of diet changes for our kids. And, you know, the reason why it can be a bit confusing is because some doctors say, no, there's no correlation between behavior and this. And that's why we have Dr. David today, because I did some diet for my son when he was 6. But it wasn't strict, you know. I would do it today, and then we cheat a little, and I'll feel bad and give him something. So I feel if it's not 100%, then it's not a diet. So at least today, Dr. David is going to crack it more and tell us more about it, because I'm also dying. Not that I can promise myself that I can do a diet for a 13-year-old strong boy. Let's see how it goes. But at least knowledge is power. Well, then when you decide to put it into action, it's there for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on, Hafsat. And Dr. David, Hafsat actually requested for this topic. Remember, I asked you if it's something you could do. So she requested to have this topic, trashed today. I think he can't hear me, but anyway, I think he's trying to sort out some things. Dr. David, are you? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you guys. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry.
Now you can, yeah?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yeah. But you're frozen now. Now you're back. So it's on and off.
Because my network seems unstable.
Yeah, it does seem unstable. Maybe.
My internet seems unstable. No, dear. Oh dear. And it was working all right before. Just Okay.
I think
It's still on and off now.
no, it's good now, I guess. It's good now.
Okay.
I think we can
Okay.
welcome everyone.
Okay.
Welcome. I think we can start, right? It's 4:30, 4:41.
Okay, I'm just going to turn off the video. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you for coming on, though. Is it still unstable?
Well, I'm hearing you all right. Are you hearing me all right?
Yes, we are. So anytime I'm not hearing you,
Okay.
I'll let you know. I will. What sign do you want me to give you? I can't hear you very well.
Why don't you just type it into the WhatsApp so that at least it's right here in front of me, so I can see
You
that.
can actually pick that up.
Yeah.
Okay, because okay, it's supposed to be a fast one, so maybe I'll just do this while you're talking.
What? Okay. Okay.
So it's
Or
faster.
let me see if the network isn't the best.
Or you want to switch
What are the
your
other
video?
options we have just in case? Because this is it's like can I switch to what?
I was thinking if you switch off your video, would it be better?
If I switch off my video, would it be better? That's a good idea. Tell you what, let me do that.
Maybe
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
How, oh, okay, fantastic. Okay, let's just do that then. My apologies. So I think Asma, we can enjoy your view.
Yeah, just me in the room now.
Okay, all right.
For someone that can't read.
Asma, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and start off and then.
Okay, let's just start. Thank you everyone for coming and being patient while you're trying to fix some technical issues. I mean, these things happen. It's not about it can't be done. We will just start thinking of how can we get it done. And as you saw, we thought of different ways, and now the camera is up. And that is the reason why experience of children with special needs. It's not about it's difficult, but it's not about I can't do it, but how can I get it done? And this has even taught us some lesson today. Welcome everyone. Welcome Mariam, Abosede, Amina, Bemisola. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name well. I'm trying my utmost best. Rahima, Solomon, you're in two places. Probably somebody is logging in from your device, but that's okay. The more the merrier. Kathana, thank you for coming on time so early that you actually reminded us that it was time to start. We appreciate you. I mean, coming here at this time means you want to take the next step for your child, or maybe you're like sitting on the wall like I am, whether to start a diet or not to start a diet. Dr. David is here today to tell us. So I'm Asma Ahmed, your regular bi-weekly host, special needs parenting coach, and I love to empower parents to give them tools so they can be able to help their children reach their fullest potential. I have with me, as usual, bi-weekly today, Dr. David, who's going to talk about food intolerances and our children. Dr. David, please take it away.
Okay, thank you so much, Asma. Good to see everyone. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. I apologize for that. I'm trying to shut down all the windows here just to improve the quality of my sounds. Yeah. This is what happens when you travel at short notice.
That's
you're
true.
Not sure about the internet.
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Are you by any chance close to the router?
No, I'm not. Why do you say that? Why do you ask?
You know the whereabouts of the router?
No, it's actually in the main house. I'm staying in the guest home of some of the friends.
Okay. Maybe the closer you are to the window, though, will be better. The farther away you are from the walls, the better it is. Okay,
I'm right here next to a window, actually.
Okay, so that's the safest place we can be. All right, okay.
Okay, and I was just trying to apologize because what happened was that I found out my friend, a very close friend, she turns 18 in a couple of weeks. Her daughter called to say that she's about to die, from cancer. So I had to just quickly buy a ticket and come over and see her before
So sorry.
I'm not able to see her ever again.
Oh,
Yeah. Thank you very much. So
sorry.
that's what happens with life. It is what it is. So I had to really just come and shut those and without being sure what the internet connection would be.
Yeah.
But that is life. So we have to make the most of our lives and enjoy it with our loved ones as much as possible. So
true, and we actually applaud you for actually still coming on, despite the state you're in. And we do thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, I again apologize to everyone who has been waiting for a while. Let's get started. So I like what Asma, you were speaking with somebody a few minutes ago. I've forgotten what her name is. Rapsatu. That's a brilliant lead into what we want to start talking about today.
Yeah.
She was talking about how her son was always taking milk and was affecting his behavior and his consciousness and his cognition and so on and so forth. And that is really, really, really one of the key things. And she took away the milk, and he started improving. Bottom line, I'm going to explain that. And I'm going to explain a few other common factors in our foods that tend to make people or kids on the autism spectrum worse if it is present in the food, and they're common. Now, there are others that in which, there's in unique cases or special cases, most kids are okay with it, but there are some kids who have it worse. Are you hearing me okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. So, quick show of hands, if you would, folks, just type in the chat box next to you. Quick show of hands. How many of you are familiar with the use of enzymes in autism? Just say yes, no, type it really quickly, and then I'll just take a look at it. Then no. So that I've seen one no. Okay, no. Okay. All right. Now, another show of hands, or you just say yes or no. Excuse me, not show of hands, but yes or no. Those of you who have seen clearly that this particular food, my son seems to react to or doesn't do well with, just type the name of the food, whether it's cheese or milk or bread or even soy. Just type those things down. Okay, I see someone said cocoa. All right. Okay, bread, milk, Who else? Okay, I see some people are on their cell phones, or maybe they are driving. I don't really know. Milk, gluten-containing foods. Okay, all right. Okay, all right, well, that's good. So some of you are familiar with these things. I want to say this, and I've said this before. If you remember from our last, let me just do a quick recap. The last three meetings we've had, remember the first meeting we had was on this gut, the importance of gut health. Because in my opinion, 80 to 90% of all gut health, of all problems with autism or the autism spectrum disorder start in the gut. And if you can control the gut, especially at a younger age, you will see significant results in the brain. And we talked about the fecal microbiota transplant, where they're doing studies and experiments now, where they're actually transferring the feces or the stools of healthy kids, normotypical or neurotypical kids, and putting them in the colons of kids on the autism spectrum disorder, and they're seeing results. I know it sounds gross, but they have found out that this is probably the most effective treatment. Now, not everybody can do it. Very, very few doctors can do that. But we're taking the principle of that and we're saying, okay, what is in the stools that is healthy, and what is it that is helping to change the symptomatology or the health of these kids on the spectrum? So we looked at, and if you remember some of the slides we showed in the past, we talked about probiotics, we talked about fiber, we talked about the immune system. All these different things all factor into the health of the gut. And if the gut is healthy, remember we use the analogy of rain. if you are dealing with, if you're in a thunderstorm and your roof is leaking, you don't start by shoveling out or taking a bucket to pour out the water. You try as much as possible to seal the leakage and to prevent the water from pouring in. So that's kind of like what we're going to be talking about today. Most everything that we're going to be talking about is about the gut. Now, having said that, there are about 4 or 5 common intolerances among kids. One, as we mentioned, it's milk. And the key thing in milk is a protein called casein, CAEISN. That's a protein. The other one, somebody mentioned wheat or bread or pasta. The key thing in that is gluten, GLUTEN. It's also a protein. Now, people are talking about soy foods. Then there's something called a phenol, PHENOL. The key thing, the problem with these proteins and these chemicals or these foods is that it seems to be that most kids on the spectrum are lacking the enzymes to produce, the enzymes to digest those foods. So I'm going to take a quick recap. When you take in food, whether it's a food or a drink or milk, as it passes through the digestive system, it has to be digested by the, obviously, digestive system. And at each point, whether it's in the mouth or in the stomach or in the small intestine, there's usually less digestion in the largest intestine. It has more to do with absorption of water and processing. But in the stomach and in the small intestine especially, there are enzymes that are being produced by the gut to digest the foods. What we have been told way back in medical school almost 30 years ago is that in autism, there's damage. It's also an autoimmune condition. There's damage to the lining of the guts, which means that they are not able to produce certain enzymes like they should, because the gut is what produces the enzymes. If the food is not being digested as it goes along and it gets to the large intestine, in the large intestine, and I'm hoping this isn't too complicated, but the key is that you've got to digest as much of your food as possible before it gets to the large intestine. If the food, whether it's carbohydrates, whether it's fats, whether it is protein or it's a certain kind of fiber, if your body does not produce the enzymes to digest those foods before they get to the colon or the large intestine, it can cause all kinds of problems, including bloating, constipation, diarrhea. It could even result in food allergies. Skin allergies in the skin, or food allergies, like I said, all kinds of problems. And that's because, one, the enzymes are not being produced like they should, and also, two, probiotics. And I talked to you about bugs and how certain bugs, certain bacteria produce the enzymes you need to digest your food. If those enzymes are not present, your food will not be digested like it should. And it's all about what gets to the large intestine. Once you start getting to the large intestine and your food has not been properly digested, you will have problems. And that's when we talk about leaky gut, we talk about all sorts of issues. I'm going to give you a few more examples. And I think I mentioned this during our last class. Yes, I did mention bread. Somebody's asking. In our last class, we talked about some children tend to have unusual strength and unusual tolerance to pain. They have a high pain threshold. Part of that is because of those 3 foods that we mentioned: milk, bread, and soy. It seems as if, and I haven't gotten the full results now, but we know that those 3 especially, once those foods get into the digestive system, especially in the stomach, the body of most of us, we digest these foods partially. We digest them completely. The children on the spectrum, they digest them partially. And it is now absorbed, it is now combined. So instead of being digested completely, it is broken down into something that is like morphine which, as you know, is a pain reliever. I mean, I'm here. This is my trip. Terminal cancer patients are placed on morphine or very powerful pain relievers to prevent them from experiencing the pain. Excuse me, the pain, and to help them, ease their suffering as they go along. Morphine. These products, these digestive products from milk, from soy, from wheat and dairy, wheat and bread and other things, they result in a powerful pain relieving compound that enters the bloodstream and goes to the brain, which dulls the pain. But it doesn't only do that; it also puts the child or the individual in a state in which they are like neither awake or asleep. It's almost like the term is fugue-like states. Many times, that's why sometimes when you call your child, he's not hearing you, or you think that he has a hearing problem. It's because those chemicals have sort of dulled his perception and his cognition. I want to quickly reverse now and just talk about lactose, because this is something that is this is quite interesting, especially for Black people. When a child is born, they have enzymes in their bodies, and these enzymes are made by bacteria, not as much by the body, but by bacteria, to some degree by the body itself. Once the child begins to drink milk, his body is able to digest it. But what we know is that as that child approaches 5 years of age, 10, 15, 20, 30, most people are lacking in that bacteria and lacking in the ability, that enzyme, which helps to digest the milk protein in breast milk. They say that over 75% of Black people are lacking in that enzyme called lactose. I'm sorry, lactase. Lactase is what breaks down lactose in the milk. So they are lacking in that enzyme. And therefore, what is produced is an intolerance or a sensitivity to milk. If you notice, a lot of people now, when they were younger, they used to drink a lot of milk. When you get older, they're not able to drink that milk anymore because it causes bloating, it causes indigestion, it causes constipation. Are you still with me? Okay, Asma, you're muted.
Yes.
We're still here. Are we enjoying this? Are we enjoying this? Yes, no, yes, no, and yes, no in the chat. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I apologize, but I've shown you slides and all that, but my sincere apology. We will hope to make it better in the future. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is some people have answered. So that is to me, that's one of the best examples. It's one of the best examples because Black people, again, we tend to be 75% of us tend to be lactose intolerant, and therefore can't handle milk like we should. And therefore, that's what causes that indigestion. It's a similar principle that we're seeing in autism and autism spectrum disorders. It's the enzyme that is missing to digest these particular proteins in the food. And that's what causes the havoc that they see. So what I started doing, and when we started looking into this years ago, was to start looking for enzymes that would help to digest these foods and digest them properly. And so we partner with some companies and getting the enzymes from these companies to make it. And it's not easy. I mean, you go to a health food store and they say there's enzymes. You ask them for enzymes and they show you this whole layer upon layer and shelf upon shelf of enzymes. Most of these, unfortunately, don't work well enough. I mean, if at all they do, because enzymes are live substances. They are alive and they have to be preserved at certain. Well, first of all, they have to be made in a certain quality, and secondly, they have to be preserved properly. In fact, if those specifications are not met, you're just going to waste your money and it to be lost. But please remember that this is just a piece of the puzzle. I don't want you running away and saying, okay, enzymes are the solution. I'm just going to use enzymes and that's the end of my problem or my child's problem. It's all the different pieces of the puzzle. And that's why, if you remember in the slide that I showed, please go back to the former talks we have. I think we have on our website as well, the brainandbodyfoundation.org. Brain and Body Foundation. I'll type it there. Or Solomon, type it there for me, for us, please. If you go to our website and also send them to the specific link on our website, you'll see that we talked about 7 things in the gut that you have to address. We mentioned the bacteria, we mentioned fiber, we mentioned chemicals. You have to remove heavy metals. Some of these kids have a lot of heavy metals and toxins in their gut, which is causing problems. I don't know, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before, Asma, but the gut is also a detoxification organ. In other words, if there are toxins in the bloodstream, the gut is also one of the ways by which the body gets rid of toxins, right? So for instance, now, if there's a toxin in, the first word that comes to me is vaccine. And I don't want to give people the wrong impression because I'm not an anti-vaxxer, please.
Yeah, not at this time, yeah, exactly.
But that in foods or even illicit drugs or chemicals that get into your body somehow, the kidney works as a detoxification organ, the liver works as a detoxification organ, but the gut also works as a detoxification organ. So if you have heavy metals like mercury and lead and all that, or aluminum, get into your body, it gets out into the gut. And once you have mercury and lead in high amounts in the gut, and your body's trying to get rid of it, possibly, as we all know, many times in kids, they have, on the spectrum, they have a much slower digestion, so they're not pushing out stuff as fast enough. So these things tend to accumulate. And once you have accumulation of things like lead and mercury, you also have accumulation of bad bacteria and fungi, because these bad bacteria and fungi enjoy the metals. They actually live on and in the metals. And in some cases, they actually feed on certain aspects of these metals. So it compounds the problem. And that's why, again, as you can see now, I've mentioned 2 separate things: heavy metals, toxins, and the bugs. These are all different pieces of the puzzle. I didn't mention enzymes, but enzymes too play a role. And I mentioned 7, and that's why I keep on emphasizing the first step in, if you want to do a really good protocol for your child, is to get all that stuff out. That's safely, securely, but quickly, as much as possible, get all that stuff out so you can see clearly to begin to do the different things. In some cases, some kids may need more enzymes than others. So other kids may need more probiotics than others. Other kids, it's just the heavy metals. We know that some kids, their ability to remove or to detoxify mercury and lead and other heavy metals is less than the average kid's ability to. But you won't know these things until you, first of all, clear the room first, and then you can start. It doesn't mean that, and I know some people may not have the ability to start the full protocol. So it doesn't mean that some things will not work. Like in asthma, in your son's case, there was that supplement that already began to show results before we started the protocol, right?
Yeah.
So, but the ideal thing, and I keep on emphasizing this, the ideal thing is that you want to start the protocol by clearing up the guts, and we show a safe way. We refined it over the years, and we show a safe way to do that. Okay, so back to enzymes. So there are enzymes now that are available to break down gluten. There are enzymes available to break down the casein in the protein. There are enzymes available to break down starches and carbohydrates. So these sugars don't make your child go hyperactive, because one of the symptoms of these food intolerances is hyperactivity. So you want to make sure that you look into all those things, and this is what we try and present in our different talks. I'm going to take a pause here, and if you have any questions, so let's try and address these questions as much as possible. I know people have different questions. questions about this.
Okay, yeah. Please keep typing your questions as we go. Firstly, I saw some Amina, I think it was Amina that asked if is beans also, what of beans? Does it affect them?
Beans, yeah. So beans have proteins in them as well. I mean, even for the general population as well, some people have a difficulty digesting digesting beans. It's not as common in children with autism. There's sensitivity to it, but yes, I mean, in the final analysis too is the parents. What does the mother notice in this child? I always like to talk a lot with my parents because research is one thing, scientific proof is another thing. But I guess the most important is what the parents notice, because that's what we should go with. So if she has problems with their enzymes, excuse me, if she has problems, I was reading a chat. If your child has problems with beans, yes, then you want to look into another thing. You want to start with if you're not able to have access to the right protocol, the right foods. You want to start an elimination diet or restrictive diets. Try to reduce these things. The common ones I mentioned, you want to reduce the bread. Bread isn't even healthy for you anyway. I hope you know that.
It is.
I mean, we eat it.
Not at all, yeah.
Especially
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially the processed bread, which is in abundance in most developed countries. The processed bread. What was the other one? Milk. Once you know that, I mean, I would just say reduce milk, especially commercially bought milk, because in addition to the problem with the casein, it also has problems with processing. A lot of them have antibiotics. They're pasteurized. Some of them even have hormones in them. In fact, a lot of them have hormones in them because they want to get these cows fat and big and productive as much as possible. So of course they're going to manipulate that. Modern agriculture manipulates all these different things. So you want to be aware that these things are a problem. So try to eliminate or restrict those things, and then focus on the more healthy foods like the vegetables and you want to fruits. You want to also want to be very careful with fruits, because there are some fruits that have a lot of high sugar in them, like pineapples and oranges and all those and others like that. So you want to reduce it. Go with more like the pawpaw, the watermelon. Again, children on the spectrum tend to be very dehydrated. They tend to be thirsty a lot. For some reason, they tend to be more dehydrated than others. So taking fruits like watermelon, and having them take a lot of water would also help in their symptoms. But bottom line is watch your child, give them, be observant, see what the child reacts to, try to avoid those things, and just start to break those things down.
Yeah, okay. But I guess the elimination would be done one food item at a time, right? Or let's say one problem-laden food at a time. Because if you do everything at the same time, then you won't be able to understand what the actual problem is.
Exactly. So start one at a time. However, there are some that are just obvious. You don't want to. Like milk, for instance, you want to reduce those things, and sugar. You shouldn't even be giving kids all that much sugar. So there are some common sense things that parents should just be aware of. Listen, just try to reduce these things, and look for substitutes. Like somebody mentioned, coconut milk. Coconut milk is fantastic. It doesn't have casein. It doesn't have those animal proteins that can or the chemicals that are in these processed foods. So coconut milk is a good thing. And then just play around with it.
Yeah. I guess it's also a case-by-case basis, and that's the question Bemsola is asking. What protocol, please? I guess it would be a case-by-case basis for each child, right?
Right. Maybe she's referring to the protocol I mentioned.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And I said you were going to talk about it at the end, but I think you're rolling it out as we go.
Right, right. Yeah. So I can show that. I can show that to you later. But I wanted to make sure that people's questions were answered, though.
Okay. So Hafsati is asking if your enzymes are available to buy.
Yes, we will make them available to buy because we have to get them from the actual company. So just you those of you who are interested would have to send us emails, and we'll get them. We'll get your contact, and then we'll get them for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But how about you they consulting you first and you knowing a bit more about the child, so you know the dose, the age, and stuff like that? Would that be recommendable?
Absolutely. So yeah, that's why we're asking for the email if you contact us, so we can have a
Okay.
uh, more directed thing.
Okay.
So let me see if we can share that slide as we did last time.
Okay, and
Hang on.
then she's also asking about, Websona is asking about what of healthy gluten-free bread. So here, healthy gluten-free may still have some casein, right? Unless it's milk-free. And again, you're not asking for any testing for the child because does that mean that all the kids have sensitivities to gluten and casein?
No, I'm not saying that at all. But remember, I'm always talking from a perspective of access. So
Mhm.
even though I'm in the US, I'm speaking like I'm in Nigeria. Okay,
Yeah,
where
you should. I mean, yeah, we have to go with the majority.
yes. So
Yeah.
we don't have background. We don't have access to all these different things. So again, my principle is always: what are the basic things? What are the common things? What have we learned from the West? And what can we apply in a safe way that you don't have to worry about giving too much, for instance. So for most of what I do, most of the nutritional approaches and the protocols I have, even if the parents use everything at once for one day, something that's supposed to be used for a month, there will be little to no repercussions simply because we specifically select things that are safe for the child. So the only thing that would hurt is their wallet and not the child. That is what we're
Yeah.
always after.
Yeah.
So so whether or not they do the tests, I can tell you some common things. That's like for instance with this protocol I talk about in terms of clearing the guts and cleaning up the gut and helping your child push out everything. That is, we've looked at so many different protocols. This is the fastest, quickest way to get your results: clearing the guts and then working upon that. Anything else you want to do? I mean, if all you're trying to do is the diets, yes, that's good. If you're in a country where you have access to all those different ingredients of the diet, more power to you. We know in Nigeria and other African countries they don't have access to that. But the diet takes long. It takes time. It's very difficult. It is hard on the children. The children end up hating their parents for doing it to them, and so on and so forth. It is very involving. And most of the parents who do it are women or wives who have husbands who are earning a decent salary in a decent part of the world, and so they don't have to worry about money. But for most of the parents that I deal with, they are struggling as well, and they have to go to work. So then they don't have that time or luxury to stay with their child 24/7. So we want to address it quickly and effectively, but most importantly, safely.
Okay. So, Dr. David, are you seeing, so for example, if you start the diet and you find out that it's difficult. So for me, I also actually want the easy way out because I don't want to be policing my son all over the place because it may not work as he's growing older. If for any reason, so does that mean just before he takes the meal, I give him the enzyme? Will that work? Or is there a time when the body gets so used to the enzyme, me giving him every day and then it's not going to work?
Yes. So giving an enzyme just before the meal, every little bit. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this again and again and again. Every little bit helps. So if all you can do is just take an enzyme with the child's with the meal, or give a child an enzyme with a meal, in many cases that seem to help. In some cases, it won't, but you wouldn't know until you give it a try. So yes, by all means.
Okay, so if you can't do a complete elimination, something is better than nothing, obviously, and then you start to look at what's happening. And I always, then keeping a diary, keeping a data sheet is so important. From the day you started, what the child ate and what his behavior was like. I'm sure, of course, there are so many factors that affect behavior, but then if we do it for at least a month, we should be able to see a trend. Because without the data, again, we will not be able to understand whether the child is getting better or not.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So Florence is asking that I think this is more of she's sort of wondering that when her boys were younger, they were more hyper. Now they're in their twins, they seem calmer, and she's wondering, she's not sure which foods they're allergic to. And she feels, though they're obviously, they must be allergic to bread or milk, I think, so she's a bit sort of not sure. Who knows? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to say about this, Dr. David? But then, Florence, what do you want? What do you want to find out now? Do you want to start the diet, but you're not sure what, so that we can lead you in the right direction, or rather, Dr. David can lead you in the right direction? What do you want? Now that you're on the call, you can actually unmute and say something. Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Yeah,
Hello.
hi. I'm sure really they must have been allergic when they were younger because they had all the symptoms, hyperactivity, constipation, maybe diarrhea. Then now that they're a little older, I see bloating, a lot of bloating, and also a lot of weight gain, and one of them. And then the other one is like totally very, very picky. But you know, I don't see, like when I give them like the bread or and at the time I basically took them off casein and, you know, bread and all that. But it's really, really hard, especially when they started eating it initially. So I was not very successful. So they're like back on it again. So I don't know. But I am very sure they definitely must be allergic to it. Maybe just the body has just adapted, and who knows.
Okay. Okay. Is this something you want to pursue? You want to pursue the diet or the protocol? Is this something you want? You want to work on something for them?
Yeah, definitely, because I know they're off. They're definitely off. They're not doing as well as they should. So I know there is something that we are not doing. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for clarifying that, Florence.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and Florence, we've been talking a little bit, so we'll go into that some more. And speaking of, I think let me just show our slides. So in the final analysis, what you need, if I may say this myself, and for what we've seen that parents need is someone to hold their hand, someone to point them to take out the guesswork as much as possible. Because what I see many times, people just go to Dr. Google or they go to chat rooms and somebody points out this thing that helped their child, and everybody tries that same thing and they get disappointed, and it's a kind of vicious cycle over and over again. So what parents need is like a systematic, strategic approach, step by step, and then having someone, okay, if things don't go work as well, maybe there might be some modifications to the protocol or to the plan as they go along, so that they don't feel like they're just beating the air or just in a maze. They have some direction and some purpose, and this is especially important, especially because you first of all, you don't have all the money to waste, and you don't have all the energy and time, but you're fighting or racing against the clock many times. The older your child gets, it becomes more difficult to treat it to get the best results. Although from what we've seen some tremendous results even in older kids. But it's always easier to start at a tender age. So what we're trying to offer, and I'm just going to share my screen real quick here so you can just see what we're talking about. Is a way to do just that. Let people have access to a resource where they can actually be guided along the process. So this is this is what's, I hope you can see my screen now. And this is I mean, we're still in the process of developing this. So this is absolute basic minimum. Some people will have much more access than that. So 15-minute private call, and then I mean I'm not rigid to this thing, because bottom line for us is that we want to help as many people as possible, and bottom line is I want to get results. So number two, a 30-minute Zoom meeting. That would include meetings like this, and another case where you have access to us. We're going to sit down, answer your questions, and go over some things with you, especially if you're on a protocol that works. Access to community of like parents, discount on supplements. So here's this other thing I mentioned last time too. So some companies will not sell. First of all, they won't sell to individuals, and they won't sell to you if you're not a doctor. But also, they will not sell on an individual basis. They can only sell wholesale and bulk purchases. One of the supplements that we've been searching for were probiotics. I searched for years for a good probiotic. All the other ones that we've been using were just not working or not satisfactory. Searched for years, and finally, when I found the right company, they say, "Well, one, are you a doctor? Yes. Two, we don't sell less than fewer than 250 bottles." And I'm like, well, I only need 10. And so we are now had to get the money and then buy that and then make it available. So if people are available, if people in our community, we let them know about some of the things, the discoveries we're making, and how they can, instead of buying at the price they would get on the, if they came to us, for instance, and they were not in our program, they would probably pay twice in some cases what they would pay. So we can tell them, okay, if you all want to buy, put money together and buy this bulk amounts, then I'll give them access to that, so they can buy it, so they can get in bulk rather than spend twice the money on individual amounts, individual bottles. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and then I'm always in the community. I'm always looking for bigger and better things to do. So you will hear about these things. You'll be on our email list. We'll be updating you on things to do, on breakthroughs that are available. We're constantly creating videos, short videos, long videos, addressing specific areas. I'm working with experts in the field. I told you about this researcher. They found out about a specific bug called Bacteroides fragilis, which they are finding out plays a crucial role in autism. They're trying to commercially produce that probiotic. We'll be among the first people to know. We've asked them to come and do trial and tests in Nigeria on these products. So we will know when these things come out. And then, of course, you have the latest research and collaborations. So this is something new. In the US, when I'm consulting, I charge over $250 just for a consultation in the US. Okay, and I have people paying on a monthly basis for that amount. But because I know that there are people in the US all over the world who don't have access to that, we're making this. If you pay for this, I think we're offering $100 now. If you pay for this, you first of all have access to that consultation. We're going to throw that consultation in to get you started, so that and that's $100 instead of $250 for just a one consultation. And you have, in addition to the consultation, you have access to all these other things as well. So I want to try and make it as available and comfortable for everybody. Okay, so I showed you. So there were some slides here. So let me see if you do want to. And another thing I forgot to mention is that, let me try and get the chat box so I can put in the chat, put the chat there somewhere. Yeah. Okay, chats are here. We do want to take advantage of. What we do is that it's basically a contribution. 100% of what you pay actually goes to our helping of kids with from underprivileged families, kids with autism, kids with cerebral palsy, kids with sickle cell disease, especially kids with sickle cell disease, because that is our major focus for now. So we're going to put in a way in the chat box, if you do want to take advantage of it, the link to pay for it, and then once you get it, we'll schedule an appointment with you to talk about it. But that is the donation link we put in the chat box, so you can take advantage of it.
Yeah, so let's take note of the link. Maybe we could tap copy and paste it to have a look at it later. Or best thing, you just do it now and hop on the call with him. And I always forget to mention during the sessions, during the webinars, that this offer starts if you reach out to Dr. David within the next 3 days. If not, then it's going to be in another 2 weeks, because he has a lot of patients he's attending to. You can see he's moving from one place to another. He's been in Nigeria, but he's now in the US. So if you really want to take advantage of the offer, then you have to do it in the next 3 days. Else we revoke the link and we have to give you another one that you just pay the normal one. And this offer is just for the people that come on this webinar. So if you actually want the offer, come on the webinar every 2 weeks, so you can avail this offer. And it's just in the next 3 days, I keep saying, because he needs to plan his next 10 days ahead, right, Dr. David?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because it's not just autism we're dealing with. We're dealing with groups with sickle cell disease. We're now dealing with adults with strokes. I mean, what we found out is that we provide a unique way to helping people regain their health and their well-being by repairing the body, helping the body repair itself. And what is surprising to me, Asma, is that even in the US, I don't see too many people actually doing. In fact, I see very few people doing what I'm doing. So it's suddenly you're seeing what started as a foundation, as a charity, has in Nigeria has now become something that is needed even for those who don't need charity, but they're not finding they're not finding the results even in a Western world like this, where they have access to the best of healthcare. They're not finding the same results. So I think that there's a need for them. So we're getting busier and busier.
Yeah, you are busy, and that's why I'm thinking, if it's left open, then if people come in much later, that means you have to tell them in another 2 weeks. So if you actually want the offer, because this is actually an offer, it's not really what he charges. If you want the offer, I do urge you to hop on time. I'm trying to post your YouTube link, Dr. David, so from there they can see other videos, because I love your videos. One thing I like about them is that they're very authentic. The people are actually talking from their hearts. You could see. So this particular one is and I'm seeing more and more of your videos now, live videos coming, which is good.
Yeah, my staff are doing it. My team.
Okay. Yeah, but you're the one doing it.
I was going to say my team are doing it.
Yeah, which is good. Which is good. So do reach out to him in the next 3 days so that you can book your slot. And to think that the 15 minutes consultation is a lot of time for Dr. David. It wasn't easy to get him to start this because the time difference is also not favorable, for me especially, and him being the US is way behind us, and also especially in Nigeria. So imagine if I wanted to do it at 11 a.m. for your time, which most people said is better for them. That means he has to wake up at midnight, and obviously he can't do that. So he's here out of his time. 7:30, he's here for us. So I think we should take advantage of this. And many people reach out to me to say, what diet should I do with my son? Like a group I am here in the UAE day. So I hear people asking, oh, my son didn't sleep that last night. And I hear parents giving them advice like, give him passion fruit tea or something like that. But who said, And I'm just by the side smiling or laughing because I'm thinking, but this is not an informed decision. Nobody knows if it's going to work. So today we have Dr. David take advantage of it, because these webinars, they're not going to last forever, right, Dr. David? We're going to move on. And once he opens his place and I start my, my full-time coaching, we may just do this every quarter. And then you'll be wondering what happened, but this is the time to do it. think of it, we always do things for two reasons. It's either we are moving away from pain. I always say this, I'm sure you think it's now my national anthem. It's either we move away from pain or we move towards pleasure. So think of what are you trying to do? What are you trying to avoid by taking this protocol? Or what are you trying to achieve? What is that pleasure you want to see? Like for me, I envisage my son sitting nicely, quietly, not clapping, jumping, doing all sorts of things. And then first 3 days is, he's calm. And then when I'm thinking, oh, then he's doing okay and everything, then now he's like off again, because I've not really started the protocol when I should have. Now I know, and now we are on it. So take advantage of it. Did we add any value? Yes, no, yes, maybe, not sure. Can we have something in the chat? It was quiet. It was such a quiet house just now. Maybe they're digesting everything you've said. Has Dr. David added value? I hope they've not slept off. Okay, they're still here.
At least we didn't lose too many people. Okay,
good, alhamdulillah. Oh, alhamdulillah, good, he did. Okay, do reach out to him as soon as you can so that you can start doing something. I'll just take one more. Okay, I saw two questions we did not attend to. It was something about honey, whether honey or is honey better than sugar?
Yeah, so honey has an advantage in that it's natural and it's antibacterial. So that helps, but and it helps even in adults and some sets of children. But what I always say is that once you have a child when you see a child with autism, all you've seen is a child with autism. That you cannot use the same rules that on that child and with someone else, especially when it comes to diet. Now, of course, there are some common things, but don't assume that it works. It's the same thing that works for everybody. So you just need to try it. That's really what it comes down to. Try it, see how your child responds to it. Wait. I mean, if he's overly quiet, if he's in a quote unquote zombie-like state after taking honey, then you might want to back off from the honey. But honey is not among the commonly talked about problems.
Probably because it has some medicinal aspects of it too, so it's not.
Yes, so it has some antimicrobial things as well.
Yeah. But I always say, doing it, keep the boundaries. I mean, how do you say this? Like, do it with it. Don't give too much.
Yes.
What's that word? Borrow me that phrase. What do we say when we want to say not being reasonable? Something.
Not being reasonable.
Without, not within boundaries again. Yeah, okay. Just when you think you have all the words and then they disappear. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm sure once I log off, it just comes back and I'm like, well, everybody has gone. Okay, so Hafsatu was asking regarding phenols. You mentioned it earlier, and that was what I was trying to pick up. Yeah. So how does phenols affect them? And what foods lie within this space?
Yeah. So colored foods, vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, certain kind of fruits, and cranberries. But in some cases, they say that even in milk as well. So it's a wide variety of them. It's easier to see kids who have phenol problems if they are white, because sometimes you see a black bags appearing under their eyes or skin rash and all that. So if they are white kids, you see that more easily or more readily. But in black people, you're not sure which it is, because these phenols are quite common in a lot of different kinds of foods. So it's hard. So some kids can't take. So some parents just try to avoid taking that, making some kinds of stew or some kinds of vegetables. It's a tough one. So some people just get the enzymes that have no phenol, that actually address phenol itself. So there are some enzymes that break down those phenol proteins or chemicals in foods. And once they take that, they see results. So that is one way to go. That's one way to go. So I think the takeaway from this talk today, or this discussion, is that enzymes are a good way to go. If you've been searching, enzymes can help and can be part of the tool or your arsenal, the tool in your arsenal to get results.
Yeah. I think that's the main umbrella for today's talk, actually, because whatever we give them along the way as they grow older, when they're younger, you're able to determine where they go to, but when they're older, when they go out, maybe it's a good idea to just give them something, some enzyme to just put, just in case, or have the enzyme in your bag and move around with it. Of course, not in a temperature.
Absolutely.
Because all the enzymes will die by the time you leave your doorstep. It's like getting to 45 degrees centigrade. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Within reason, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the word came back. So moderation is key. That's what I wanted to use. I just
there you go.
Money, moderation. Oh, so I thought it was actually a big word. Oh my God, the brain is an amazing organ. It just didn't give it to me then. Yeah. So I meant moderation, whatever we do, even with honey. So I just had my tea now. Perfect. This comes at a good time. So I've turned all my food in the house to organic. That's for another day. I don't want to go into organic food and stuff like that. But I decided to do that because I also wanted to take out pesticides and chemicals from the foods and the whole house. So when I get the organic honey, one, it's pretty expensive because it's organic, of course. And two, my kids love to use a lot of it. Of course, kids like to do that. So I just bought these small containers. And once I buy them, I just put, I just take my time and I just put them, just what you need for your tea. Actually, I've taken my tea, but I still have a lot remaining. And so my kids only see this. And if it's done, it's done. They don't even know where the rest is. Just a tip, because parents will say, but how do I give him a little honey? Well, if he doesn't see it, he wouldn't go for it. Just a little tip there. So there's always a way around it.
Right,
for sure.
More
questions, please, so we can wrap up in about 2 minutes. Anybody wants to unmute and say something, just in 30 seconds? And
hello, Asma. Assalamualaikum. And hello, Dr. David.
Hello, madam.
Thank you for the talk. My question is, because for me, all the food you mentioned, that is what my son will eat. And I've not noticed if that affects him in any way. The only thing I can say, when he was younger, he did not want milk. He refused every milk. Once he stopped breastfeeding, he did not take any milk for a long time, until when he was probably going to 2, he took it a bit in cereal. Now that he's much older, recently he has started taking milk with his cereal. He would normally have his cereal dry. He doesn't take milk, but recently he started taking milk. And it's not that I notice much difference. And he's always had the issue of constipation because he doesn't drink much water as well. So I don't even know if he has intolerance to all this food, or am I supposed to just assume because he has autism, he would have intolerance to all this food, because he doesn't like sugary things, but he will take milk now. He will take all the pastas. He will only eat wheat biscuits and a bit very specific. And when it comes to fruits, he will eat some for a while and then he will go off it, and then he will try them again and he will go off it. So I'm in a dilemma. I don't even know if he has intolerance for this food, or how do I start about it?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because some parents, they clearly see that this is not good for their child, and then they can go off it. But in this case, it doesn't seem like you know for sure. But but we're going to start you. I know Rahima has you're going to start on the project and the program very soon. So let's start with that. Like I said, if people are able to go through the protocol, that helps clarify so many things. If you first of all start by taking out, cleansing, helping your child push out all the stuff in the guts, then that will now, you can now begin to see where the problems really are. Or maybe in the process of doing that, those problems will disappear, quite frankly. Because again and again, I say this, many times the problems you are seeing is as a result of the activities of the bad bacteria. It's the bad bacteria that are doing stuff on the food and on your body that they shouldn't be doing. And it's because there are so many of them. If you can get them out, you begin to see some improvements. And basically you're going to get clearer or more direction about what next steps to take.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
So that's always my solution. Thankfully, you've taken that step. So
yeah, and I'm sure she'll be very excited before we know it. And the good thing about doing your protocol now, you have also the same person not just giving you supplements and vitamins, supplements and the whole protocol, but holding your hands through the diet. Because sometimes you're all over the place. You're buying the supplements from a pharmacy. There's a nutritionist giving you this, and now they say, okay, now you need to go and see someone for the diet. And then it's very confusing. And then different professionals don't, sometimes they don't always agree. And then you're wondering, just like Rahima is asking now, she's not sure if he has this. Probably if she wasn't asking you, somebody would say, well, you don't even need supplements for your child. Like my son's doctor actually said that. When he went for his medication, he said, just abolish all these supplements. They don't need them. They don't work for them. He's a psychiatrist, so he said, take medication. Even if he was not, even the neurologist said, well, he doesn't believe in diet. But I always say parents know if your child needs it or if he doesn't, the parents always know. It's a gut feeling, always know. Dr. David, just one more question before we go. Is there a point in time when we can actually stop this diet? Also, is there a point in time when these supplements would have done their repairs and we just continue on maintenance level, or we always have to be on supplementation?
Here's my philosophy: is that everybody should be on a supplement. This is a bad world we live in. It's the toxic world. I mean, things are not the same as what the world our parents and grandparents lived in. So bottom line, that's my philosophy. So it's clearly I'm bent in one direction. Now, specifically when it comes to autism, what I say is that, okay, so we have this whole 6-month protocol. After 6 months of intense activity, we can say, okay, we have an idea of what works better, what does better, and then we think we've addressed certain aspects. So going forward now, we would just say, okay, you might need this to continually boost your child's brain development and brain potential. And so it may just, or this child may have a problem with toxins, or we saw so many good results with this particular supplement. Let's continue with that. So this is what I tell parents. There's no hard and fast rule. Do the protocol first, and then we can now continue with this supplement or that supplement. But I would say that it's advisable they keep on using one supplement or the other. Treatment of standard treatment of ASD, kids on the autism spectrum, is at least 2 years. At least 2 years. They are really going to do it right. So when I say 6 months, I'm really compressing it. And again, it's because I'm looking for the fastest possible results within the shortest possible time. So that's my answer.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Okay, we'll be logging up now. We don't want to go to the waiting for too long on the call. Thank you everyone for logging on. Dr. David, you have the email they can reach out to you, or how do they log?
Yes. Oh, good question. Yeah. So I will just. This is Brain and Body Foundation. At info@brainandbodyfoundation.org, not .com, but org. Okay, info@brainandbodyfoundation. Typing that in there. Okay. All right.
Okay. So it's quite straightforward. If you could just copy it, and just go straight to the just copy it and put it browser or just go straight to your email. Just send a hello even, just so that you have the email. And this is by no way, it's not in any way saying you have to do the protocol, but I mean, we are not going to do this topic for a long time. I'm sure the people on my hub know I've been very passionate about this topic. I've been sharing some tips from my son, but I'm not credible. I'm not credible to share something that everybody can use with his child because I'm not a professional in that field. So where better to get it from a professional. And we definitely are not going to do this topic again, like in the next few months, right, Dr. David? Because there's so many other things you'd want to talk about. So the sooner you do it, hop on with him, the better, the faster. And let me just leave you with this. Where would you be this time next year? Where will your child be this time next year if you don't take the action now? And where will he be if you do decide to take the action? That's just a food for thought. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on. We appreciate all of you. Keep strong, keep living, even though you have a child with special needs. It's life, we have to go on, but then with things like this, we'll always find something that's good for us. Thank you so much for coming on, Dr. David. Thank you so much. Let's show some appreciation to Dr. David, and we'll have him on with a juicier topic in the next 2 weeks, even though this topic for me is the juiciest, but then there's always something that Dr. David, you want to comment so everybody can say goodbye to you and we log off?
Well,
your video on?
Thank you. Well, again, I apologize. I was going to show slides on the video. I apologize for the poor quality of the.
It's okay. It's okay. We understand. I mean, we had to do what we had to do anyway, and it was done. And I think it was done still. Okay, thank you, everyone. Dr. David, thank you. I'll stay back, Dr. David. Are you free to stay back?
On the webinar or on WhatsApp? Yes. Or what do you want?
Is it fine with you?
On the webinar, sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you in 2 weeks, and invite other people so everybody can also get something from this. Thank you, Zara, for coming. And Zara came in late, but I'm sure she got something. Thanks, Zara. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Absatu. Thank you.
Okay, Solomon, we'll talk later now. We're waiting for you to get off the webinar.
Okay, you want to speak with Solomon? I can hop on again later.
No. I'm asking if he can excuse us. Solomon is a member of my team now. You know Solomon.
He's your team. He's part of your team.
Yes.
Oh,
part of my team. Yes.
Guys.
Solomon, please. Solomon, you can hang up. Goodness gracious. He's probably not even near the phone.
Maybe it's not. Maybe he can't hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to remove him. Just go ahead and remove him.
Ah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's another way. You'll just be wondering. Okay. Yeah. So that's a good one. I liked it. I like the engagement.
Wow. I mean. Thank you. I was stuttering over I was hardly awake. I got to tell you, I was still falling. I mean, I went to bed around 1 o'clock, so I was hardly awake, and I was stuttering over my words, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was so upset with me.
Yeah. So like, good. Yeah. And how did you know? How did you know she had logged on? That means you got a message then.
Yes. So since we're the one that hosted the webinar. The email, they send us an email alert anytime somebody comes on.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Luckily you got it because I hardly get it. I get them, but I don't pay attention to them because I'm just thinking they're going to. Yeah. So yeah, I like the engagement. You can see it's a hot topic. So the reason why I'm saying in the next 3 days is because I actually want us to make it 3 days because we have to create a sense of, oh my God, I'm losing my words. I hope there's nothing wrong with my brain now. I keep losing words when I'm going to say them. Scarcity. We have to create some scarcity, you know, not as a, like, I always want to stay in the integrity space, not, I don't, like, you see people selling stuff and they say, I have 80 more minutes, but I hate that, you know, it just puts me off. But when I say 3 days, I actually mean 3 days. And if it's okay by you, just so you know, people think when things are free, they can just take their time and this time next year they look for you. And this is time. Time is money. We are given our time. I always tell them on the group, I'm not doing this for the lack of anything else to do. Well, I started this for lack of anything else to do. But now I'm doing so many other things. But I don't want to stop because my main focus is how to make the parents empowered. So I come to them strongly in the group that it's not just a thing to just come in while you're just sleeping and, you know, just lay there and, you know, watch the webinar and like, oh yeah, it was okay, good, we had it. I've told them I'm not going to stop even if it's just one person, but I've told them that I get put off when they don't take action because it doesn't make sense to me. So I just did the scarcity because just for them to understand that you're not there waiting for them to just come on, and after 3 days you're going to move on anyway, and that's how it should be. So another thing I just noted was, okay, so if you could have your slides with the offers, each offer on a different slide, it would be nice.
Oh.
Yeah, so because and it shouldn't have too much text on the slide because anytime you say one offer, their eyes are already scrolling up and down. So even if you're talking about the slide, they won't really pay attention. If I could have your, you know, okay, I think I'm going too fast because I have so many ideas in my head. Okay, so I'm
writing it down.
Okay, okay. You know, I just don't want to promise, especially the kids are on break now, but I can actually take some of your stuff on a session that I'm also just learning. I'm trying to open up a sample. Okay. So, okay, let me, okay, can I share my, oh yeah, I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, where did it go? So this is all I have on my screens. So for the last one I did for school, for a GEM school here, this is all I had. That's it. So this is what I want us to have. You know, you could have an emoji of you with the doctors talking. All this I can actually. So my pictures are actually telling me what I'm going to talk about. And normally I would just get them to. They would actually appear one at a time.
Like I'm not seeing your screen.
Oh really? Oh my God! I can't. So I wasn't sharing. What? Oh, I wonder. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. I thought you could see.
No problem. And I saw your screen a while back, but it went off.
Okay.
Okay, I see it now. Okay.
Okay, so I'll actually get it to appear one at a time. So I'll talk about this and then it syncs. Then I talk about one and then it syncs. And then I say something just to break the pattern. I say something. This is just like something that I want them to remember when they leave the call. So I was talking about their journey forward and experience and all that. It depends on the context. And then I go to the next one. So this is what I was talking about, their personality test. I want them to find out who they are. And this is all I'm using. So for me, I have an anchor that will remind me of what to talk about. So with things like this, I'm just talking about the different types of personality. So for the supplements, I have so many ideas that we could have one supplement. Of course, you don't have to show your supplements if you don't want to, but we could have a supplement, and so that's what I'm saying, that we could call it a name and even have a feather on it that it makes the child fly eventually. Something visual, something, instead of just auditory. If it's visual, people remember it more. And so that was just what I was thinking I should just let you know. So for each of the slides, do you want to share your slide and the office slide?
Yes.
And I could just think of an idea. That's the first slide. Yeah. The offer bonus. And then even the pictures, we're not going to use anything cartoonish. Divide them into, yeah.
Okay, are you seeing it now?
Yeah, it's coming. Okay, so the 15-minute private call with me every 2 weeks, we'll just have somebody, sitting, so we can pick up on this word private, somebody just sitting, waiting for a call, and then you can just write, maybe just 2 weeks, and that's it really. 30, or you can have the words and then something small on the side. So for each of them, like, so a huge one is, some of the points I wrote was access to a community of like parents where they can share, exchange. So what I wrote on my notes was, which platform? Is it a community where? Is it WhatsApp? Is it Facebook? Is it what type of community? These are some of the questions. I mean, so if you were doing this to parents in UAE, they would have asked this question. And I'm thinking, oh my God, so it depends on who your target audience is. And that's why we need to know. But if we build it to such an extent that we can address everyone in an international manner, then at any point in time, if anybody hops on, then we are good. So this needs to be, they need to know community of what exactly. The discount.
I need help there for sure.
Yeah, so that's why, and you're really trying. I love it because you're open to suggestions. And as a coach, I don't like to suggest. But in digital branding, you have to make suggestions, right? Anyhow, so first, so I want us to divide the offer. We'll have offer slide and we'll have bonus slide. People like bonuses because now when you say offer, everybody goes money, 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 money. He wants my money. But when you say bonus, now there's something free for me. Everybody likes free. So if we take out what's an offer here, I think what's a good bonus here is being able to hear the latest breakthrough, because this is privileged information. Why should we give you as an offer? You don't have to have that. Access to library of videos, it could be a bonus. Because you speaking to them, taking your time, 30 minutes here, 15 minutes there, access to community, oh my God, that's enough offer. And giving them at subsidized rate, access to latest research, that can be between offer and bonus. So we can break this down into offer and bonus. And when you're going to talk about the offer, okay, I liked what you did, but I think that was sort of, it was just coincidental. So you were talking about the product, then you did the offer. Now you continued with a slide that you forgot, actually, right?
Which one was that? Which slide? Okay.
What slide was that? You said, oh, I forgot this slide. Oh, it must be the next one, I think. Oh, okay, you laid out this slide. Oh, okay, so it was purposeful, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, nice.
Well, I wasn't looking at it when I was talking because I already. But
oh no, it's good, because most people make the mistake of giving an offer at the end, which is good, but they still need to keep saying something. So seeding the offer in the middle, seeding. So seeding would be like, please, can you go back to the offer slide?
Yes.
Okay, so at the beginning, we would have the office like this. Yeah. So at the beginning, before they see the whole offer, they would have known what they're going to get, because it's sinking slowly, slowly. So at the beginning, you would say, when somebody asks the question, you could take the advantage and say something like, yeah, that we can talk about during the 15 minutes call, but then you can continue to give her the answer. Then she's like, oh, there's something more coming. There's a 15-minute call. I like this. I'm not going to log off. So seeding, just taking it like slowly. It's like, like my mentor said, it's like when you start a relationship, you're not going to tell the person, I'm going to buy you a car, I'm going to take you to these places. But from what you tell her, this is what I love to do when I have money. She starts to understand, I think he's going to be a good husband. That sort of thing. So it's like a relationship building before it comes to the end. Because at the end, when people see an offer, they're like, oh, okay, so there is something like this, really. And it's very difficult for the brain to shift from an understanding is giving me knowledge to a point of offer. And so many people do this and they don't seem like they're doing it. But now, because I'm being taught to do it, once they start seeding, I'm like, he's seeding now. Oh, he's seeding. Okay, I understand that. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting thing to learn. Yeah, so you can do, yeah. I actually spoke with one of the person taking me through digital branding today, this morning, because I had a session with him. And I spoke to him about you, and I said, you have such amazing products, but we need to iron out the marketing part. I'm always willing to give tips and, but I don't want to move from my niche of parenting and start giving people, because I want you to get it the right way.
Thank you.
And besides his teaching me, mine is services, not really products for now, even though they are used interchangeably. But I told him yours is products. And he's also going to open up your mind towards also coaching the parents in terms of why do you actually need it. So if there's no webinar, you can tell them I do 30 minutes coaching as to why you need it. And that I actually also help you on it. What are the right questions to ask them? So if you could see, Florence was just saying something, but she wasn't clear what she wanted. Till I said, what exactly do you want? Because I was thinking we're going to take 20 minutes to actually understand what she wants. Why don't you just ask her? And of course, when we ask the right questions, we elicit the right answers, right?
Right.
And so even when you're working with the parents, the parents and the child, the parent actually needs to even understand if she's actually going to be able to do this first and foremost, so she doesn't waste your time. And what part of it does she want to do? And who else is involved in this? Is the father happy with it? Because there are fathers that will say, please just give him what he wants. That means the child's not going to do well, because if she's out, she's going to give it to him. Does the child spend time with his grandparents? No diet can happen with grandparents. Because they'll give him everything. I mean, most of them, unless they are in the know. So these are little things I thought of. Is it possible you can have a separate link that's a payment link without denoting donation? Because that was why you said you wanted to start the meeting yourself, right? Or is it because you wanted to link it to the hub?
Well, the reason why I said the meeting was wasn't that for recording, so we could record properly?
Oh no. Oh really? Okay, yeah. But you can still record if I give you. Yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
And then the other reason was obviously we wanted to be able to, rather than wait for you to give us the recording and wait for you to give us the names of registrants, reach out to them directly. Yeah, that was the reason.
Okay, but please do that for me though. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, can I send you so you can give your team, so I can take that off my head to give it to my secretary, so that she can just handle it. She knows what to do once she receives it.
Okay, so send it to the WhatsApp so I can.
Yeah, okay, I will. Just the raw form, and then she'll do the needful.
Mind you, we only had 17 people register.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
as against 40.
No, 40, it was 40 last time, right?
Last time, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so also it's a time when everybody is traveling now. That's what I was thinking.
I'm sorry?
Is it in the UAE, everybody is out to the airport. People are traveling. They're trying to find out how to spend the holiday and all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was something I thought of. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want me to give you Vital Mani, my branding mentor, so he can?
Yeah. Well, okay. Where is he based?
He's based here in the UAE.
In the UAE. Okay. Now, that's scary enough. What are his rates?
Okay. So I think it depends because I'm doing services. I'm doing services, but I'm going to put in a word. I wanted to know if you're interested, but I've told him already. So I can put in a word and say, see, it's not like you're doing anything, like for money for now. But another thing, I don't want them to see you as somebody that is doing charity. Because if you're doing charity, people will not think, oh, okay, it's just to help the sickle cell. Now people will say, but what have I got to do with sickle cell? Because your value is compassion. Some people's value is not compassion. They're thinking, but why am I going to pay this money if it's actually even for sickle cell? So I'd rather even maybe you're going to mention it's for helping kids with autism, but not even to mention it at all. Well, that's my take. I don't know what you think.
Okay, so make it just strictly pay, just leave all that out and just say pay me.
We are not going to just ask them why we are asking them to pay that amount. We actually are going to justify the reason why they should pay that amount. Because they're coming on the call for a reason. If you still have a pain and you want to keep that pain, and I do not believe money is ever a reason why you should not, because they're spending so many, you've always said it, they're spending so much more money doing other things, right?
Right.
So why not do this? Yeah.
Okay, so you are bringing a different perspective. I just thought, okay, well, just to let them know that we're not after their money in that sense.
We are. We are after their money. We are, because we're not going to give it to them free. And when they start thinking, so not after their money, in that sense, I'm sure you understand. But we want to come to them. You're a medical doctor. I mean, how many medical doctors come on a webinar and talk about different things? No, it's not done. I have people here that say, yeah, Asma, I'll do it. But you see, they always come and, because I've known them for so long because of my son. But it's not something that we're going to keep every 2 weeks. And some of these webinars have to be even paid for. If this webinar was even paid for, more people will come because they'll say, oh, there must be something there, I'm going to come. And they'll cherish it more. So yes, you have to pay us for us to be able to give you services. That's what I want them to understand. And I've come also from that space of finding it very difficult to ask people for money. But when I wake up in the morning and I'm doing my studies, I'm doing my research, and I'm putting my content together, I'm thinking, why should I feel bad about this? And I'm giving my all in all, my whole time, and doing all this despite having the same pain as you do. I could be sleeping before my son wakes up to get some 2 extra hours. I'm doing this out of passion, of course, but also, why am I going to give it to you free? And I feel credible enough to sell my services. So we want to come across as, being confident when we offer. And I also want the offers to be very, very, very strong. And we tell them this is an investment. It's not costs. It's actually investing. And if you don't invest in him now, in 15 years time, if you come to me, I'm definitely not going to be able to help you. And that's why I talk to them about the pain, because there is pain. There is pain. Today when we talk, actually we started Abdullah's protocol today because he's on holiday.
Okay, oh, you've started.
We started today. Today is day 0. So I've been at home because we're checking, giving. Of course, he hasn't gone to toilet. I don't know if I was on this call, if he did, but the therapist is so good. You know, he's been doing it, giving him. And I'm so excited to see what it's going to be like. Yeah. So yeah, so these are just the things I thought I should tell you. And if you want, I could get you on with Vital, but ask him, tell him, just be open with him. If it's something you can be able to do, but just to let you know that he's good. He holds your hands, you know, really, he takes his time. He's passionate. He wants you to get your things out there. And he shares with you, you know, different hubs where you can even sell your products without yourself being there, that type of thing. He shares with you, yeah, how you can even actually get all these emails you're having, instead of having them on an Excel sheet, you can have it on, you know, the client system client CMS, client management system, and everything is automated. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
also he walks through all that.
Oh my God, it's all amazing. He works through that. Now even the government is recognizing him here. He's partnering with American companies to bring in more digital products for us and, you know, his clients and everything. So I did my coaching journey with him, but he's been in the corporate world and even selling products for like 20 something years. So he comes from the corporate world.
Oh, wow.
But he got tired of working and said he can't keep working his whole life. Now he went into coaching. He liked coaching, but then he came up. So his niche is digital branding. That's the side of his coaching, and he's really good. So I met him while we were doing our coaching journey together last year. And humble man, very, very sweet spoken and all that. And I'm sure it's something you can still be able to do. Because, you know, think of it, if you get the knowledge, you've gotten it for life, that's it. Nobody's going to take it away from you. And your team will just keep developing on it. For me, it's better than getting it from all over the place, Googling and finding out how to do stuff, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. I need to make that investment. So what's the initial consultation with, like, for him?
With him, no, I don't think he's going to consult him. You may just go on and maybe Zoom with him. He asks you what you want, and then he tells you, okay, I have this program coming up, or I want you to, he may just tell you what it involves. And then you can start, maybe if you want a one-to-one, or he's doing products for other people. The reason why I like to go on in a group, because I get to learn. I get to learn from other people also. Yeah, but anyhow, it can be done. He's very flexible.
Right. I mean, you're making a lot of sense, because it's not 2 days ago that I was still thinking, I'm like, gosh, I need to, first of all, I need a website. My website has to be commercially active, where you have all these packages, like the detox kit, and then you have the individual supplements, like even the enzymes and all those things. So people can just come and just go online. When we talk about them on a webinar like this, they can just go directly to the site and make those purchases, and then have that all taken care of. And along with the content and the articles and just a whole resource that is there. And I was like, gosh, I wish I I had someone who could help me.
I'm telling you, it's Vital. And maybe that was when I was actually even speaking with him. And if you see also what he shared with me this morning, my mind was blown away, because I'm thinking, okay, so what he shared, because I kept asking Vital, I need something for my automated emails. I can't be doing manual emails. It is too tiring. I can't do that. So this involves automated emails, Okay, if I share my screen now, I'll just share you something. He shared with me only because I'm on his hub. So this is Vital, this is him.
Okay.
And this is this man, Vic, that they're partnering together. He's a multimillionaire in the US. He's rich, all from what he started like this. So even with affiliate marketing, you can ask people to market your product and they get a commission out of it. And people will go all out there. And you can also market other people's products. I don't know if your license allows you to do that. And you get passive income, because it's all about passive income, right? Because as a medical doctor, you have that credibility. People will buy, especially if you talk regarding this or whatever you want to say. But the basic of it is that he just got this partnership recently. And I've already registered. I'm going to register for the webinar, start watching. But this he gives to people that are already on his program, because he's going to talk you through what you should watch, not everything, because he's really taking you through it. And also, not just about selling products. I know Vital is going to come up with so many other things you can offer people, because that's what we did today. I'm like, what? I never knew there's something else. Because it's going to ask you about your passion, what else you like to do? What else do you like to do? What else do you like to do? And then you'll see, it's just, I don't know how he does it, but it's not a formula, but by the time he brings everything together, you're like, oh, and he will tell you, but you said, or you told me all this. And it's amazing. You can see how excited I am about it. I really like it.
Yeah, it makes me want to connect with him. Yes, please give me a connection.
Please connect with him. I've already told him. I said we're doing some things for you. We're doing something with my son, and I'm going to tell him right away. Also, I mean, it's better than reaching out. Is better than not reaching out.
Yeah.
And you never know, if you feel you're not going to go along with him, then maybe we can try to get someone. But to be honest with you, I've tried to get so many people, even in Nigeria, to coach me, because I'm thinking, if it's in Nigeria, I mean, how much is going to be so cheap because when they tell me that I'm on, I'm like, this is so cheap. This is just 20,000 naira. Of course I can do it, But it's so much more there. I know there are people doing it and they're charging. I know there are so many good coaches in Nigeria, but I'm already with this person and I know him very well. We've been together live for 9 months or a year, doing masterminds together, sharing ideas, being coached, coaching clients together and all that. So I know Vital. So I don't want to go with anybody new, So I've sent him, I've sent you his contact.
I got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Let me know.
I'll reach out to him.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Take care. Okay. We'll talk soon, inshallah.
Right.
Okay. Take care.
Okay, Ajay. Thank you so much, Asma. Okay. My pleasure. I really appreciate you doing this.
No problem.
Yeah.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Right. And let me know how that's going on with Abdallah.
Yeah, I will, inshallah. So I just noticed one thing. So I took the script and I was writing exactly what we should all do, because I have a group with this therapist. So I pasted it on the chat. I said, this is exactly what we should all do. But when I listened to the video and the instructions on the WhatsApp, they're a bit different in terms of dose. But I went with the higher one. The video said, 1 teaspoon, but the instruction said 2, so I went with 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Please, because he's older. Yeah, those the video instructions were for the 6 years and below.
Okay. So I'll just go with the instructions sheet is also having Abdullah in mind. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Instruction sheet is specifically with Abdallah in mind.
Okay. I'll just go with the instruction sheet. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
The video was just so you can have a visual of how everything goes together, how we mix it up and how it's supposed to be done.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, John.
Okay. Bye. Have a good day ahead.
Bye. You too.